the most popular character. More movies have been made with Dracula than any other character.
Why does Bram Stoker's Dracula have such longevity? First, we must examine why he was a scary figure in the 1800s. The fear of degeneration, reverse colonization, homosexuality, the new woman, Darwinian materialism, and the dissolution of the soul were all rampant fears when Dracula was published, and are all prevalent in this story. But that does not explain why the Count has survived for so long. Count Dracula entails many other, more common fears. He is a super predator, an anti-religious figure, and an undead or unnatural being. This is not to say that vampires have been a stagnant figure throughout time. The vampire has changed dramatically from the 20th and 21st centuries. In the AIDS epidemic and STDs and bloodborne illness fears of the 80s and 90s, the vampire was thrown back into the limelight as a creature of horror and terror. Nowadays, the idea of the vampire has been flopped on its head. Instead of a symbol of everything inhuman and godless, the modern vampire is a demonstration of what society wants: strength, power, beauty, and romance. This change shows how flexible the vampire is as an idea. It will surely change in the future. Zombies have been around for a long time, but they are clearly the monster of the present. Think about what they represent. The classic zombie causes fear of losing one's humanity and soul, as well as the inevitability of being infected. The zombie myths disregard natural laws, since the zombies are neither living nor dead. They are mindless beings which act on the sheer impulse of hunger. They reflect our dread of becoming part of the herd and our desire to act as ourselves. Zombies are the embodiment of evil and death, yet they are slow and dim-witted and easy to kill. Their popularity reflects a possible desire to live forever or escape death. Furthermore, a zombie apocalypse situation means free stuff, which fits our modern materialistic world, and massive amounts of excess violence, a key element in capturing audience interest nowadays. Myths are time-tested stories which are made over generations and are usually linked to some town, place, or creature. They have a lasting impact because of the human connection between the teller and the audience. Movie monsters may seem cousins to ancient myths, but having something on the big screen is an instantaneous message that that thing is fake. It is man-made. Thus, the story does not rely on folklore, and creators have far more control over their monsters. Having the use of visual as well as audio aspects lets directors control their audience far more than old storytellers. Many horror hits are just the right movie at the right time. Let's look at the original Dawn of the Dead. Why does this one stick out above the rest? This movie has a strong base in the American psyche.
It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill.
Dawn of the Dead features a highly American theme, the shopping mall.
Shopping center.
When Dawn of the Dead was released, shopping malls were relatively new and were fashionable to the point of necessity.
What are they doing? Why did they come here?
Some kind of instinct, memory of what they used to do. This was an important place in their lives.
Dawn of the Dead follows survivors who are trapped in a shopping mall. To the audience, this would have been a dream, yet this American dream is flipped onto its head as it turns into a nightmare. For this reason, Dawn of the Dead became an instant classic since it had such a close grasp to the audience's hearts.
How the hell are we gonna get back? Who the hell cares? Let's go shopping first!
Watch this, watch this.
Hey, let's get the stuff we need. I'll get a television and a radio.
Oh, lighter fluid. Sharp.
Okay.
Woo! Oh, how about a big coat? Why not?
Fast forward to 2004. Dawn of the Dead is remade and back on the big screen. One may wonder, how could this be successful? Malls are not what Americans love best anymore. The director knew that and preyed on the current fear in America. This clip, shown at the introduction of the film, shows what looks like thousands of devout Muslims praying towards Mecca in unison. The director intentionally made zombies as metaphors for Islamic terrorists, and it worked. The zombies are shown as fast and dangerous, unthinking hordes, which never stop until their hunger is sated. In this case, their success would mean the annihilation of all of the characters. The movie is analogous to the audience's fears. If we assume that the main characters represent Americans, then the endless waves of suicidal, man-eating monsters who do not care about their own lives must represent America's top enemies of the time. Others believe that these shots only show Muslims praying during the end of the world, but it clearly impacted the meaning and success of the movie. It is time to shed societal influence and dive into the human mind. Let's pause for a moment and look at one of Darwin's studies. Monkeys are inherently terrified of snakes. In one study, Darwin put a live snake inside a bag and placed it in a cage of monkeys. Soon, one monkey went up and opened the bag. He instantly jumped away in fright of what he found inside. This may seem normal. However, without fail, every single monkey took a peek into the mystery horror bag and had the same reaction. Similarly, humans have contradictory feelings of fear and curiosity. Edgar Allan Poe called this human behavior the spirit of perverseness. There are many medical museums which feature grotesque human defects, mutations, and anomalies. How can these museums stay open if all good people avoid such horror? These photos may be unsettling, but you may find it hard to look away. First of all, we must distinguish between fear and terror. Fear is the natural reaction we get when there is a sudden sound or burst of light. When we feel that the world is collapsing and everything is falling apart, terror sets in. Not all fear is from imagination, but trepidation, dread, and any sense that something is not right is normally the work of the imagination. According to imagination, murky water in a pond can be the housing of Cthulhu or any monstrous amphibians, even though we know otherwise. Visually, there are a few key ideas which horrify humans.